Hey cruisers, it's Amanda with Meet Your Cruise Planner, and I am really excited about today's video. I am debunking the top 15 excuses people make to not cruise. I'm breaking them down, and I'm gonna tell you, I've heard it all as a travel agent. I've heard it all. So here is the top 15 list. We'll start with number 15. Ready? I can't go cruising because I'm gonna gain weight. Guess what? You might gain a couple pounds on your vacation. However, nobody is sitting there and forcing you to eat the entire time. I actually, on most of my destination type cruises, I end up losing weight because I am constantly moving, walking. My movement level is way up. Now, there are some of those cruises where they're the relaxation cruises, maybe to the Caribbean. Maybe I've been to a few ports a few times. I'm not really gonna get off the boat that much. Yeah, those, if I'm not staying active, I may gain a couple pounds, but nobody is forcing you to eat every course in the main dining room. Nobody is forcing you to go to the buffet and grab 2 plates of the amazing food that there is. I actually avoid the buffet, and I try to stick to the actual restaurants, and I believe that the portions are really reasonable. However, it is a multi-course meal. So be cautious as you indulge in your vacation food. But you are in complete control of that one. And I don't believe that this is something that is inevitable. I think you can avoid, but it's also vacation. So indulge, enjoy. It's a special treat for yourself. All right, number 14, cruises are for retirees and old people. I've heard it a lot. And I chuckle every time I hear it because I look at these massive new ships that these cruise lines are coming out with, and they're not appealing to the retiree generation. They are appealing to younger, active folks. Some of the ships are really gearing towards families as well. I think, if I went on a spring break cruise, and I can tell you, it was a mix of every type of person. There were families and young couples, my husband and I, middle-aged couple. So I think you can see it all. I think it just depends on what kind of sailing you go on and maybe who the cruise ship is, the cruise line. Because there are certain cruise lines that definitely attract a different demographic of people. All right, number 13. I can't go on a cruise because I'm gonna be seasick. Yeah, you might get seasick, but these boats are equipped with amazing stabilization systems to keep boats stable as they're sailing. They make medication for the nausea, so if you need something for that motion sickness, there's Dramamine and there's other brands out there. Take it, use that medication, but it's not a reason to not sail. Number 12, there's nothing to do on a cruise. I don't know about you, but on my sailings, I get an itinerary that has a full day of activities every hour on the hour. And if you can't find something to do on the ship and you're bored, then you're boring. That is the bottom line. You have to, if you just want to sit in your room the entire time, yeah, that's going to be incredibly boring. Don't do that. Go. I love to go and play bingo. I absolutely love it. I love to go to the art shows. I love to go to the auctions. I don't auction, I don't buy, but man, do I enjoy watching people spend money on the auction. I really do enjoy that. I love a spa treatment. I usually reserve myself a spa treatment. I go to the thermal spa. Thermal spa that's the one thing I always treat myself to. If the sailing or the ship has a thermal spa, I do that. When I'm with my kids, they love the zip lining and the go-karts and the rock climbing walls. I mean, they love all of that stuff. So there's a lot to do on a cruise. Lots. Number 11, cruises are too expensive. When you look at the initial price of the cruise, it can feel a little bit like a sticker shock. However, I want you to remember that that price includes your food. That includes your entertainment in most cases. I mean, I pay extra to go play bingo, but if I want to, any of those shows that you want to see, all of that is included. Your Lido deck fun is all a part of that. There's so many activities to do on the ship that don't cost you a thing. So it can seem expensive, but there's also inside cabins, ocean view cabins that you could do. If the balcony cabin just feels a little bit too out of reach, then tear down to one of those other cabins. You shouldn't be spending that much time in your room anyway. So I think dollar for dollar, I think a cruise is an extremely good value when you consider if I went 7 days somewhere else. Say I can tell you, I can actually compare it. My husband and I, we went on a cruise to Japan in October, and it was just he and I. And we loved Japan so much that we're taking our kids back this summer because I want them to see it. And the exchange rate is so good right now to go to Japan. The dollar is so strong. So we're going, but we have hotel, food, transportation to all of the cities because we want to show them a lot of the different cities that we saw. So we'll be taking the train and going. And I can tell you that I should have just done a cruise because we didn't do it. We're just doing land tour type stuff. And I should have done a cruise because it is so much more expensive to do it the way we're doing it on land versus by a cruise ship. So, but it's a new experience for my family and we're going to enjoy it. But I think dollar for dollar cruising is probably the most economical way to see the world. All right. Number 10, cabins are tiny. Well, yeah, you're on a ship. They're going to be smaller. We're not talking palatial accommodations here with like huge and extravagant bathrooms and things like that. It's a cruise ship. How much room do you need? A place to sit, maybe, and a place to lay down. You should only be in your room when you're sleeping. The rest of the time you should be out and about. So yeah, they are a little bit tiny. If you want a bigger room, then you could always do a deluxe like balcony or deluxe veranda, a mini suite. It just depends on who you're sailing with. They all have bigger cabins. You would just have to pay for it. So yeah. All right, number 9, you'll get stuck with annoying people. The ship is actually a really big place. And if you're annoyed by somebody or something, go somewhere else. There's always other activities happening. You're gonna find annoying people everywhere. A ship, don't go outside if you're afraid of annoying people, but certainly take a cruise because you can go somewhere else. You can move where you're sitting. Cruising is not like it was, or it had been where you have to sit at a table with people you don't know. That doesn't necessarily happen anymore. So you're not going to be stuck with anyone annoying. Just move if you are. All right, number 8, the internet is terrible. Yeah, it's not great. How do I debunk this one? It's getting better. And some cruise lines really have it figured out, but it comes with a cost, right? So on our Princess sailing, the internet was absolutely fantastic. My last Norwegian sailing, the internet was bad. It was bad. But the Princess one was great. So I think it's getting better and better. I think Starlink is making its way onto most of the ships. I think all the ships now. It's just a matter of, them figuring out how to deal with the mass volume of people streaming, because we're all streaming videos and different things like that. So is there anything wrong with, though, being disconnected for a bit? I mean, just turn off the internet for a bit. But if you have to have it, it is available. But no, it's not going to be like the internet at home. All right. Number 7, you'll get the Nora virus. Yeah, okay. because it's a small, confined place, there might be times where you're going to get sick. I clean my cabin when we get access to the cabin, and I'll show you guys my cleaning supplies and my little cleaning bag that I bring. But I clean the cabin. And I mean, I clean the phone, I wipe down the walls, the surfaces, I make sure I have my 4-minute wet time. I clean the toilet, the shower, I do it all. So I'm really trying to clean those spaces that I will be in for long periods of time, like sleeping. You have to wash your hands at every corner on the cruise ship, like washy everywhere. So I think, yeah, you could get sick, but you could also get sick going anywhere. And yeah, Nora Virus it's a real thing. But there are protocols in place and things to keep everyone clean and safe. And I think if that's a reason you're not cruising, that should probably be a reason you don't go outside. See the theme here? So, yeah. And there's always a doctor on the ship. So if you get sick, you can get the medication that you need. All right, number 6. Cruises are bad for the environment. The cruise lines are really working hard to reduce their environmental impact, and you see it all over the place. So I think they are getting better and better and better. And I think if you're talking about any tourist type of adventure, you're going to have an environmental impact. And cruising is no different than that. So just traveling is going to cause that. So I don't think it's a reason to not cruise. Number 5, you can't customize your trip. No, but you can customize your cruise. Like, that's absolutely insane. I can't customize my trip. What do you want to customize? You're telling me that I'm going to Europe. I'm seeing Italy, Spain, France, Rome. You think you can do that anywhere else in 7 days without a cruise ship? No, you cannot. And what is it that you want to see that's so customized? Yes, we have to stay around water and port towns and things like that. But if you really want to go and customize a trip and be in the center of, the United States or the center of Europe, even that, like, you can pretty much get around everywhere. But then, yeah, maybe you shouldn't take a cruise, but you're going to see more and do more when you cruise than you ever would by yourself on a land tour. So there's that. All right, how about number 4? This is kind of redundant, but number 4, you're going to be bored on sea days. If you're bored, you're boring because there's so much to do. Book on sea days, you definitely need to plan your day and look at the itinerary that the ship puts out there the day before, the night before, and plan what you're going to do. I was actually disappointed on my last cruise. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do. So you just have to make an effort and get it done. Number 3, the food isn't good. The food, you guys, it doesn't take much to make me happy in that department because I am not a cook. So anytime I'm not cooking the meal, it's fantastic. The food is great. I am pescatarian, and so I don't eat the steaks or the chicken, but I hit the fish a lot, lobster tail. Yeah, if you don't like lobster tail every night, sea scallops, and depending on where you go, there's even cuisines like when you do the Mexican Riviera, a lot of the food has that Mexican flair to it. They throw in a lot of that cultural cuisine on the cruises, which is absolutely amazing. So I think you're gonna be just fine. And I think even the pickiest of eaters can really make do, because you could go to the buffet and you could get pizza and burgers if you're a plain Jane kind of diet. They had pasta, just plain spaghetti sauce pasta, I think all the time in the buffet. But I'm telling you, be adventurous, enjoy the food, because you'll be surprised at just how outstanding the food is. And even in the specialty dinings, I don't think you have to go to the specialty dinings to have an outstanding food experience, but if you do go to the specialty dining, I think then your socks will really be knocked off. It'll be wonderful. Number 2, it's just too crowded. So then don't go on a big ship. My Japan cruise in October was the Norwegian Spirit, their oldest and smallest ship, and it'll hold 2,500 people. And it felt often like there wasn't enough people on the ship. Like I was like, where is everyone? So there are ways to customize this if you don't like the big ships. I am not an icon of the seas type of person. That big, massive ship. I think it's fun and exciting, but that is not my idea of relaxation and vacation, just for this reason that it is too crowded. And so any of my friends know that my favorite phrase is, it's too people-y out. Because I really don't like to be around people. I much prefer a quieter environment and space. So, and if I am able to love cruising, then that means I've really found my ship size that I like. I like to stay on a ship that's about 4,500 or less. And by less, I often look for less. I've been on some that are really large. And it's fine, but it's not my favorite. So it feels too much like a big city. All right, the number 1 reason why you should not cruise is because you'll never want to go back to a traditional vacation ever again. I can tell you, you know how they have on the cruise ships, if you've been on a cruise. If you haven't, you'll see it when you go on your first cruise. They have the cruise next areas where you can go and book your next cruise, usually at a steeper discount, or they'll give you onboard credits and things like that. There's a reason that those desks and those people are there, is because most of the time, once you cruise once, you're already booking your second cruise. I'm telling you, it is an addictive thing. There is nothing better than a cruise, the relaxation, the sun, the sense of adventure, and always going back to your stateroom every night to sleep, never having to unpack more than once. It is just such a wonderful experience. And I think I've debunked all 15 of these most popular excuses to not cruise. And I hope you enjoyed my list. If you can think of any more that you've heard from your family and friends, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And I'll see you on my next cruise.